Alright, quick simple video here. You'll notice that my game has some color to it, which is nice. It's not so bland. And that is because of materials. And we've worked with materials before in Blender. And before we see how they cooperate together, let's just look at materials as a separate entity in Unity first. So, for example, if I had my players, my little spheres, in the inspector, you should see under the mesh renderer component, you should see this little materials tab. You might have to open those up there with the drop down. And you can see a material slot. You've worked with material slots before in Blender. That was the first thing you had to do when you wanted to give your meshes some color. You had to press the plus button to create a material slot, and then you had to actually create the material. So in Unity, when we're working with just default game objects that have been originated and created in Unity, they're going to have one material slot by default. And inside the material slot is the default material. So if I don't like the default material, I can go down into my assets, I can go to create, and instead of creating a C# script, you should see about halfway down, we have material. You can give this material a name. I don't know. Let's just do green material. And in the inspector are all the different things you can change about this material, and you'll notice quite a lot of similarities to Blender. The main three being the albedo channel, that is the color of the material. So if you just click on that bar, you can use this circular wheel to select a color, and then you can move the inside square to either get a very bright version of that color or a darker one, and so on and so forth. The other two, the metallic and the smoothness, are just like the roughness and the metallic from Blender. So if I increase the metallic, you can see that my material preview down here, it starts to get really kind of shiny. It gets metallic-y, I guess. That's really the only way to put it. And you've got smoothness. So if I increase the smoothness, I'm going to get some really good refraction from the light, or I can make it very dull, and so the light is not going to reflect too much off of it. Nevertheless, once you're happy with your material, you can just click on your game object that you want to apply it to. And instead of having the default material, you can click, well, there's two ways. I'll show you both. You can click and drag from your assets and put it in here. You can click and drag on the game object itself and put it on there. And I guess there's a third way. You can also press this little circular button, and this will show you all of the things you can use. So if you had a bunch of materials, you could just search for your green one that you're interested in and put it there. So you've got three different avenues to get your materials onto your game objects in Unity.